Well, if you need more proof that corporate America is just plain evil, well, then you can ask one of the 30,000 employees of Oracle who woke up this morning to an email saying you're fired.
Welcome to the morning routine of an Oracle employee who has worked at the company for over 20 years and has a family that depends on him. It's 6 a.m., so the first thing I do is check my email. And today I learned that myself and about 30,000 Oracle employees are being terminated and that today is my last day. No meeting, no warning, no thanks for years of work, nothing. This is surprising because we had $17.2 billion in revenue last quarter, which was the best quarter we've had in 15 years. So anyway, I need to go break the news to my family.
Oracle, the company that just had enough money to buy TikTok, just did one of the biggest tech layoffs in history. 30,000 plus people just lost their jobs. Let's see exactly what's going on, what's their reasons for doing this, and what they say the future is looking like for us. What it look like TV.
I am back. What it do, baby?
YouTube's own Varnell Hill.
Did you miss me?
Your very own spokesman for the Insidians. We're inside and we're comfortable.
They're so comfortable.
And I'm back with another one. And today, y'all, I'm gonna bring y'all this story about Oracle, man. To me, the way they let these people go to me was unacceptable, man. You owe your employees a little bit more than what they gave their employees. 30,000 people woke up to an email at 6 a.m. that basically told them that they was fired. And to me, this is pretty much unacceptable behavior from anybody that's employing someone.
Well, it's unfortunately come to my attention that Oracle has began to lay off over 30,000 employees starting this morning, 6 a.m. with a cold email. Access denied immediately. Layoffs have been strategic, but not because the company is failing. Oracle is aggressively investing in AI and cloud data centers, as most companies have been. They're cutting jobs to free up about $8 to $10 billion in cash to fund this expansion. And the company has also taken tens of billions in debt to support its AI push. Layoffs are happening across multiple countries, including US, India, Canada, Mexico. Entire divisions affected include SaaS, health, operations, revenue. My heart goes out to these people that have been affected. This is an unfortunate situation, but I want you guys to remember, like I've always said to you, be prepared for anything. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Make sure that you are prepared to move on to the next opportunity if you need to. Position yourself for that. Don't ever rely on stability. That's gone.
Well, if you need more proof that corporate America is just plain evil, well, then you can ask one of the 30,000 employees of Oracle who woke up this morning to an email saying you're fired. That's it. No notice, no conversations with managers or HR. You're fired. Your access has been revoked. 30,000 people. Oracle made $6 billion last quarter. Profited $6 billion last quarter. But I will give them this. They didn't give them some bullshit excuse. They straight up told them that by eliminating your jobs, we can sink $8 to $10 billion into our AI programs. You're nothing but a line item to every corporation out there. This economy is going to crash real soon. I really, really, really hope that you are getting prepared for what's about to come.
And the way they went about the whole process, a lot of people have questions because they sent the email out at 6 a.m. and they began locking people out before the workday. So it was a lot of questions around if people were actually able to get into their emailers and fill out the appropriate severance paperwork.
Was Oracle trying to avoid paying severance with that 6 a.m. email they sent to employees when they laid them off? Now, as a quick recap, Oracle just laid off up to 30,000 employees with a single email at 6 a.m. And in the email, they told them that their access to their work email would be cut off very soon after receipt of the email, which again, they received at 6 a.m. So the email told them, click on this form and give us a personal email so that we can send you all your severance paperwork and everything else you'll need. But here's the thing. If you logged into work at 9 a.m., you were already cut out of the system, which means you couldn't give them a personal email, which means you wouldn't even be able to fill out some of this severance paperwork, which means that you wouldn't be eligible for your payout. The entire way they did this is kind of odd. So if you work for Oracle, let us know what happened if you read the email too late. But Oracle for firing a bunch of people at 6 a.m. in the morning with an email.
Who does that?
This is all fresh when I'm doing the video, so it was no responses to his video. So if you worked for Oracle, explain this and clear this up for us a little bit. Or if you know anybody that missed the deadline and they're having problems getting their severance, let us know.
We need answers.
But a lot of this came to a lot of people out of the clear blue, because just 4 or 5 years ago, cybersecurity and these jobs that these people are losing today were some of the best jobs in America, and they were some of the most secure jobs in America. A lot of people went out recently and not too long ago and bought big behind houses because they thought they were guaranteed money forever, to turn around and have the rug pulled from underneath them.
This is me finding out I'm laid off via email. Yeah, that's what I woke up to today. I'm honestly still in shock. Gonna process it, take some time. So if I'm not doing my usual stuff, that's why. But this is the 4th time in 2 years that this has happened. And there's only so much people can actually take. And the worst part is I was told I was gonna be okay. Surprise, I'm not. So yeah, I have to sort some things out. And when is this madness honestly going to stop? And I know it's not personal, but companies need to remember that employees are people. We're human beings. We aren't numbers. We aren't IDs. We aren't salaries. We're human beings. And being told one thing and waking up to an email saying another is pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. And I don't know. Do I change industries? Do I use this as an opportunity to, I don't know, move to Portugal on a retirement visa? I don't know. And it's not about the salary. It's about doing something. It's about working. I don't like being idle, and I don't like not being useful. And that, to me, is the worst part of it. And I know I'm very fortunate to be in a position to be able to say that, but I find purpose in being useful. And now I'm not again.
So my husband's old boss just sent him a text message to let him know that Oracle just laid off 20,000 employees. 20,000 employees. It's getting worse. And now there's going to be 20,000 new additional people looking for a software engineering job in a field where there seems to be no more jobs left. 20,000 people are now going to be fighting it out to try and get a job in a field where AI is basically taking over. This is scary. So my husband still doesn't have a job. He has been trying to find jobs, has had plenty of interviews, has done plenty of tests, immediately gets a rejection letter shortly after doing whatever tech stack he has to do. But now there's 20,000 more people looking for a job. Oracle just let go of 20,000 people. That's insane.
So I randomly just got laid off, like out of nowhere. I was killing it and they told me that. I just signed a lease to move closer to work the day before. This company made you care so much. I was so emotionally invested that like it feels like a heartbreak. The most similar feeling I felt like this before is like getting cheated on, because it's so out of nowhere and it's so abrupt. It just fucking hurts. My whole life was that job, my entire life. It was just taken from me. I know that your job shouldn't be your life, and that's a big lesson I'm learning, but like, fuck, how do I like get over this feeling of like betrayal and heartbreak?
Now, don't get it messed up. I feel like they deserved a little bit more the way they was let go. But I think a lot of this pain and hurt is on the individual, because I'm noticing that each one of these people are talking about how much they love the job and how much they were emotionally invested into the job.
This company made you care so much. I was so emotionally invested that like it feels like a heartbreak.
And I'll let you know right now, That's your first mistake.
Now, there's your first mistake.
You falling in love and being emotionally invested with the job is one of the dumbest ideas you could ever do. You go to work to give them a quality, hardworking 8 hours or 10 hours or however long you're supposed to be there. Don't get that confused. They're supposed to get what you're supposed to give them and maybe a little bit sprinkle more. But you're not supposed to be emotionally invested into a company that you have no stock in. You're not supposed to be emotionally invested into something that you can be let go at any moment. You can take pride in your work and have pride in anything associated with your name without being emotionally invested, because your cup only gets so full. So you being emotionally invested in a job that you can lose in any minute, you're taking away from so many other parts of your life. And then when you lose the job, you're devastated. Right now, they has successfully put society in a stranglehold because they got all y'all or majority of people hustling backwards. You supposed to go to work to make the money and emotionally invest into your family, and that's where you feel complete, and that's where you get your identity from. You're not supposed to get your identity from nobody that's paying you, ever. Who gets their identity from someone or entity that's paying them?
Pimps and whores. Pimps and whores.
You're supposed to get your identity from inside your family structure. But they got y'all going to work loving the job title, putting all your faith and your trust in the job. And everybody is getting burnt doing this, but nobody sees the family as the answer. Nobody can see that the family unit is the answer. But everybody wants to continue to get their feelings hurt by the world. It's a lot of people out there, and I'm not even talking about Oracle right now, but their whole identity are these tech jobs.
I just got laid off from Google today. When I first got my offer 3 years ago, I thought I made it. Not just for me, but also for my parents. Some people say that getting laid off was the best thing that has ever happened to them. But as an only child from an immigrant family, I don't think so. I don't even know if I should tell them yet because I know they will worry. And honestly, I don't have any hobbies and I don't do much outside of work. So a big part of my identity was tied to my job. In a time where big tech layoffs are becoming more common, I know many of you might be going through something similar and wondering what to do next. This is my first time too. But let's figure it out together. I'll be documenting what life is like after layoffs. I hope you never have to go through this, but if you do, I hope this helps.
A lot of people have built their whole identity around their jobs. They have pretty much spent their whole life trying to achieve their job because for the longest time, this was a very competitive field where the best of the best shined. So you had to be knowledgeable and you had to be on your game. And just that fast overnight, none of it matters anymore. Literally, none of it matters. When you see the amount of layoffs that's going on this year that they're not talking about, it's pretty incredible.
Epic Games is laying off 1,000 employees. Block is laying off 4,000 employees. Volkswagen is laying off 50,000 employees. Amazon is laying off 16,000 employees. UPS is laying off 30,000 employees. Pinterest is laying off 15% of their workforce. Peloton is laying off 11% of their workforce. Salesforce is laying off 1,000 employees. The state with the most layoffs is California. The industry with the most layoffs is manufacturing. So far in 2026, over 600,000 people have been laid off. January 2026, 108,000. That was a 118% increase. February, approximately 50,000 to 60,000 layoffs so far. 60% of companies in the United States plan on doing layoffs in 2026. It appears that approximately 39% of companies have so far done layoffs. As I said, over 600,000 layoffs so far in 2026. Let me give you some perspective. In the total year, the total layoffs in 2024 was 761,358. That time in 2024, that was the highest since 2020. As you can see, we have already almost exceeded the entire layoffs for 2024, which were the highest since COVID. If this post was sad but informative. For more economic news, please like, comment, follow, and share.
Dang, this is crazy. Where will all these people go? That's the question someone asked after posting this list of the 2026 layoffs so far. US government, 317,000 jobs. Amazon, 30,000 jobs. Microsoft, Ford, Starbucks, and Block just announced half of their company gone, all due to AI. That's not a slow shift, that's a wave. I've been laid off twice. The latest was in 2023, and it honestly broke something in me for a minute. Good title, stable company, gone overnight. And at the time, AI felt like a future problem. It's not a future problem anymore. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it because I genuinely wish someone had shaken me awake sooner. One of the most dangerous places to be right now is fully dependent on one company's budget decisions. The people who are going to be okay aren't necessarily the ones who find another corporate job faster. They're the ones who start building something they actually own, something that no one can take away from them. You don't have to have it all figured out, but if this list made your stomach drop even just a little, that feeling is information. Please don't ignore it.
It's good advice from the man over here.
That is undeniably a lot of jobs, man. And the craziest part about it is, it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the start.
We're just getting started.
I am terribly sad to record this. I believe that millions of white-collar workers are going to lose their jobs in the next 12 to 18 months due to AI. AI is now able to do the work of a very, very smart human in minutes or even seconds. This is going to displace marketers, coders, designers, lawyers, accountants, call center workers, you name it. The result of this is going to be an ever more extreme winner-take-all economy where the top 20% or so are able to thrive, and then the bottom 80% are left behind. And when people lose their jobs, it affects dry cleaners, dog walkers, hairstylists, restaurants, all local businesses that see less people who are able to spend. Personal bankruptcies are going to surge. College graduates are going to have a very difficult time finding entry-level jobs. People are going to be very, very angry by the fact that this path to middle class status and social mobility is going to be broken. We should be doing much, much more, including a universal basic income. The AI job apocalypse is real and it's underway right now.
Now, to hear it is one thing, but let me show you exactly what he is talking about, and it's probably going to impact you a little bit different. It's going to hit a little bit different when you see what he's talking about.
Yeah, we're cooked. We are cooked. This is a chart from Anthropic themselves showing how AI is going to take over each specific industry. The red represents what AI is already doing, and the blue is what it can theoretically do. Basically summed up, you are better off going into the trade, stuff like production, transportation, construction, than basically any college degree. You just spent 4 years, went into a bunch of debt to basically be screwed. It's like we see the grenade in the air, but there's nothing we can do, so we just go about our day-to-day life waiting for the inevitable to happen.
It was a time long, long ago where if you had a trade, where if you was a plumber, an electrician, even a bus driver or a mechanic, you got looked at different. And when I say looked at different, I mean you got looked at different in a good way. People looked at you like you were a high earner and you were a valuable member of society. We kind of lost that in society for the past 20 years. People kind of been, looking at mechanics like they just, plumbers and electricians don't get the respect that they deserve. But I have a feeling that the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be a resurgence of the respect for the trades, because it's looking like it's only going to be trades left out there.
You know what's scary to think about is that all the jobs we consider to be valuable, high-paying jobs right now, in about 5 years, everything will be completely automated with AI. So taxiing, trucking, completely out. Manufacturing, assembly lines, anything on a computer, gone. Which will leave like carpentry and plumbing as the new opening that is the last thing to be taken over, and everyone else will have to be on UBI.
Here are the worst college majors now that AI is a thing. All right, first off, we got anything related to writing. So stuff like English, creative writing, journalism, film writing, all this shit, do not major in it. This should be pretty obvious. If you just go on YouTube and look at what channels are the first to be automated by AI, it's all of those documentary channels that require a really strong script. And then AI just writes that whole script. And the thing is AI is only getting better. You could see how Hollywood, right, they were complaining that all their script writers are going to go out of job. That's going to happen real soon. It's going to happen to anyone writing articles. It's going to happen to just about every journalist. It's only a matter of time. All right, number two, I actually have an extremely unique perspective on. I run a marketing agency. I also ran marketing for Turbo AI. I'm telling you for a fact that majoring in marketing, especially anything related to social media marketing, is a dead end. Every company is looking to create AI solutions to basically replace the marketing job. And even if it doesn't fully replace the job, it's going to make every single marketer 10 times more efficient. And then if you're not in that 1 out of 10, you're going to be in the 9 out of 10 that are now out of a job. Plus, it's pretty easy to learn these skills. So I would suggest just like picking up these skills on the side. You do not need to major in marketing. Don't do it. All right, number three is going to be anything related to graphic design or just design in general, right? The reason why I think this job will be replaced by AI soon is when we were hiring for designers, all we did was compare their work to AI. If they couldn't do better than AI, they did not have a job. And AI gets better every day. Less and less people are able to beat out AI. AI is way cheaper than humans. I believe the design industry is going to be totally cooked in the next 10 years.
I think the world has changed and it shifted again. I lived through an earlier shift. I didn't realize the shift was going on, but looking back, it was a shift. And I think right now we're at a point where the world has shifted. Like I said, a lot of people it was a lot of false security in these tech jobs. Silicon Valley was all the rage for the past 30 years. I think that's dead right now. That's pretty much over. This AI is here and it's not going anywhere. So if Andrew Yang is right, what he was talking about in that little video about how this is just the beginning and there's more jobs to come.
I believe that millions of white-collar workers are going to lose their jobs in the next 12 to 18 months.
Society, or at least in America, we're going to have to restructure somehow because it's a lot of people hitting the job market and it's not a lot of jobs, and it's definitely not a lot of high-paying jobs to replace the jobs that they lost. And it's a lot of high mortgages, it's a lot of high car payments, it's a lot of high credit cards right now. So it's a lot of people in crazy situations. But I was just bringing y'all that, man. I thought that was very interesting because you don't do anybody like that. If anything, you can at least fire them people to their face, or I don't know how you could have did it, but to do it through email to me, y'all the professionals out there. Y'all made the $17 billion last year. Y'all could figure out a better way. Y'all could focus group and come up with a better way than to just fire people like that. Especially when a couple weeks prior, you were sitting there smoozing up the people. Knowing that you was gonna come back and fire them in 2 weeks, man. Y'all dirty, because this was not a, they thought of this last night and they did it. This was in the works for quite a while. You just don't pop up and do something like this for a minute, man. So this video right here, y'all, is going to end like all the other videos. Hit me up in the comments section and let me know how you feel about everything you have just witnessed.
Tell me how you felt about what just happened there.
And if you made it to this point in the video, you are my MVP.
It was a stone groove, my man.
I'm out of here.
As you all know, we had to part ways with some of our family members yesterday, which means everyone who is still with us needs to significantly increase their output to compensate for this reduced headcount. We didn't lay off 30,000 people so that we could gamble on AI. We laid off 30,000 people so that we could confidently invest in massive data centers that very well may be obsolete by the time that they're completed. This is not gambling. Also, this wasn't a mindless layoff. In fact, we put a lot of thought into who we let go. We strategically parted ways with employees who have been here for 20 to 30 years and have built up strong salaries and meaningful stock options heading into their retirement. This is the kind of long-term thinking that drives sustainable growth. So that's it for now. Everyone have a productive week.